Hi, I'm Ella Tracy, and I'm a junior at Wheaton North High School, and I'll be interviewing Candace Adams.
And I'm Candace Adams, the DuPage County Circuit Court Clerk.
So Candace, can you tell the viewers at home a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am a resident of Lisle. Prior to taking this position, I was a practicing attorney at a firm downtown, handling personal injury and workman's comp cases primarily, but also doing a little bit of management within the firm. I ran for the circuit court position in 2020, and I had the support of my husband and my 4 kids. So I've been in the office since December of 2020.
So what do you think are the most important responsibilities of the title of Circuit Court Clerk?
So the primary function of a circuit court clerk is to be the official record keeper for the court. But what does that mean? It means that we house all the filings that go into the court system, right? So when there's criminal cases, when there's civil cases, when there's things like name changes or divorces, it's our office that you come into. It's a pretty large office, so we have about 140 staff members, and annually we collect in between $40 to $60 million that we disperse to different agencies depending on what the law says that we're to do. Most of that money, or a lot of that money, is coming from filing fees. So when you file your civil court cases or when you pay your traffic tickets. So we are the department that you pay your traffic court tickets to.
So you help manage that finance?
We do. We have a whole team, a whole finance department. We also get about 350 to 450 visitors every day. We are the most heavily trafficked department in the county. It's a pretty large department. And we also do things like house the evidence for all trials. So we have a couple of rooms in the courthouse dedicated to evidence management as well. So it's a very interesting job for sure.
I can imagine. So how do you ensure efficient and smooth operations within the court system?
Yeah, that's an interesting and complicated question. So DuPage County is the second largest county in Illinois. And that means we have the second largest court system in Illinois, and making sure that that court system is up and running at all times is a number one priority. We spend a lot of time and resources, money, making sure that we have systems in place that protect the court system, right? So we have an extremely robust disaster recovery program. We believe that should something happen, we can get the court system back up within 24 hours. So we spend a lot of time making sure that those systems work. We spend a lot of money making sure those systems work, and making sure that we have the right employees and staff that know how to work those systems to make sure that we can keep the courthouse going. If the circuit court clerk's office is really like the wind beneath the court's wings, so the judges get to make all the decisions, but we have to make sure that that all works for them.
Right. So can you share any upcoming changes or challenges that you anticipate for the court?
Yes. So we get a lot of the legislation, like if you're familiar with the Safety Act or the Pretrial Fairness Act, there's a lot of legislation that went into effect that tremendously impact the circuit court clerk's office. Developing new forms, staffing new courts, things like that. So those are issues that we are talking about, and it's so interesting. It's such an interesting job as to how to make legislation work. We also do things like the e-citation program. So the e-citation program is the thing in police officers' cars that allow them to write tickets, okay?
The machine?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, yeah.
The printer. But the software behind that as well, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we just developed and are rolling out a new e-citation program for the county. Every other county in the state of Illinois has a vendor, somebody else that does it, but we have an extremely smart and capable IT team within the circuit court clerk's office. We have a very large IT team, and so we just developed one in-house. And that is rolling out right now and will be fully operational by the end of March. And what that has allowed us to do is save about $2 million over the next 5 years. Yeah, so we're very excited about this program. So we're constantly doing new IT projects that make the court more efficient, save the taxpayers money. So that's just a little bit that we've been working on recently.
That's awesome. How do you think that's gonna like affect things since our system is gonna be like different than the rest of the counties?
Honestly, I think that the counties are going to want something similar. So we've talked with a couple other counties as to how to share this, how to create a more efficient system for everybody, which we love doing. We love creating efficiencies and thinking about how we can improve the systems that we have. So I think that eventually the programs will look more like what we're rolling out now.
Gotcha. Is there anything else that you would like to cover that you didn't get a chance to talk about?
Yes. I mean, I could talk about the circuit court clerk's office all day, and I do, but like I love it so much. So a lot of people don't know what the circuit court clerk's office does. It's this hidden gem inside the county. We house all the records, like I said at the very beginning, but that means that we have millions of paper documents in our basement. Documents and history that goes back to 1839, which is when the county was founded. So we have the first cases that were filed in our court system. It is so cool to work there every day. We get to work a lot with legislation and not necessarily commenting on whether a bill is good or bad, but we get to talk with our legislators about how to make a bill work. Like what is the procedure that has to go in place to make a bill work? It is so cool. And then we get to be in the court every day making sure that court systems are working. We get to develop the technology that allows people to check in before they go into their traffic court cases to make it a little bit easier. And then we get to help people that don't have attorneys with their filings along the way. It is such a cool office. It is so unique in terms of how many people we get, how large it is, and what we do every day. And we lead the state in so many things. It is definitely an office that DuPage County should be proud of.
What made you want to become circuit court clerk?
So that's a great question too. So I was practicing law and I was practicing law at a firm downtown, and truly what made me want to do this job is when I was working in Cook County, they held expungement clinics every year. And what that means is an attorney would help you clear your record. So you can get things removed from your record if you apply to do so. They're not automatic. So like if you're found not guilty, okay? Or if you're arrested and that never leads to charges, that's all on your record still.
Oh my gosh.
And so you can come in and have that removed, and it helps people get better access to jobs and housing and things like that. And I knew that in this position, I could bring that to DuPage County. And so this year we're going to be having our fourth expungement clinic on August 17th. And so far we've helped over 500 people get answers about how to clear their record or how to manage their record, empowering them to make better decisions to help them in their life. So that's one of the reasons I knew that I could do the management of it all. I love the management of it all, and I love working on the policy of it all. So that's what made me run.
That's awesome, like the opportunities and stuff that people can get once their records are like expunged.
Yeah, it changes lives, and like I'm thrilled to be able to play a small part of it.
Thank you for interviewing with us today.
Yeah.
Thanks for teaching us about circuit court clerk.
Thank you for having me.